what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishi Said.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Lesbian pretends to be a man and dates women. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
Nora, as Ned, also went on about 30 dates.
Did you have any fun?
Rarely.
It was just an
pretty
ordeal.
Unpleasant. Yeah.
She says the pressure of Ned having to prove himself was grueling. Nora was surprised that many women had no interest in a soft, vulnerable man.
My prejudice was that the ideal man is a woman in a man's body. And I learned, no, that's really not.
There's no attractive nice guys. It's not because I like the bad boys or whatever. I like nice guys. But, like, there's no attractive nice guys.
Do you think women understand what it's like to be a man?
Not at all. No clue. No idea.
That it took a trip into manhood to help her appreciate her own femininity.
I really like being a woman.
Did you like being a woman before Ned?
I did, but I like it more now because I think it's more of a privilege.
I said to her, this is going to be revolutionary because it's been looked at as though men were the perpetrators and women were the victims.
Ultimately, Ned told most of his dates that he was Nora. Barbara seemed more open and friendly, and in the end actually apologized for how she had treated Ned.
Sorry for being... Please.
But after 18 months of deception, she was unraveling. Her checked into a hospital with severe depression. Her views about men have changed forever.
Men are suffering. They have different problems than women have, but they don't have it better. They need our sympathy. They need our love.
All right, guys, so you might be familiar with the story or you might be not. Regardless, this is a really interesting video that's resurfaced. It talks about how this woman who's a lesbian decided to physically transform herself to a man. She wasn't expecting what happened, which was that she found out that being a man is not easy. Now, of course, you know, people have different opinions about this whole situation. Some people are saying, well, they probably knew that she was actually a woman, or some people said that she definitely looks like a man. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I have a photo here that I'm going to pull up so you guys can take a look. I think if you walk past someone like her in the street, when she was dressed up as a man, pretending to be a man, you'd have thought that she was a man. And some people may say, well, that isn't interactive enough experience to truly experience what it's like to be a man. And I beg to differ, man. Even in passing, if you just walk past a regular man versus a woman, you would see that a lot of women are treated better. You know, men are taught things like, you know, you open the door for a woman and you look out for a woman, you know, women get more attention, etc. Now, I want to be careful that this isn't one of those videos where I'm just sitting here talking about, oh, it's so sad to be a man, because I think in the grand scheme of things, these type of videos tend to send the wrong message. Just like that recent headline that talked about how 64% of men today are single, and women are like, oh, men are so miserable, good for them, when in actuality, guys are just sitting there thinking to themselves, the return on investment isn't worth the work. They're not being miserable men who are sitting at home with nothing to do. They're finding other ways to enjoy their time, to spend their time. Versus, for example, in the past, a man would spend hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands, over a couple of years, taking women out on dates, having a good time with the woman. And now maybe he's doing that a lot less because he's realized that the modern woman today just isn't worth investing. And he's spending more time with himself, with his friends, etc. Right? It's not like all men are depressed and miserable, but I do believe that if most women today were put in a man's body, and I'm talking they started from ground zero, they would truly understand the pressure and the expectation to perform, to reproduce. I'm talking about resources, to produce resources. They would realize that life as a man is very, very hard, right? Very hard. But I want you guys to remember that women don't think it's hard. Women actually think that it's easy to be a man. They actually believe that it is easy to be a man in this generation. Let me play you, for example, this video that I saw recently of this woman basically talking about how life is easier for a man, you know, in today's age. Check it out.
I don't really care if this sounds mean. I can't respect a man who's done worse at life than me. How did you do worse in a system that was designed to help you do better? You got a head start. And you still did worse than me? Why would I respect you? Why would I let you my gene pool? You're clearly not good at this.
All right, guys, so there you go. So the problem with their train of thought of thinking the world in this day we live in today is easier for men is that maybe that type of thinking would have been right 200 years ago or 100 years ago. But in today's day and age, that is definitely not the case. We live in a gynocentric society, uplifts women and tears down men actively. One of the things she complained about in that experiment was how unpleasant the women treated her. Guys, if you don't learn to build any sense of self-respect, if you aren't consistently consuming content, and I mean deliberately going out to look for content that's going to empower you to be the best type of man that you need to be in this life, to be competitive, to come out on top, then by default, you'll be forced to listen to what? Media around you through television, film, music that degrades men, tells you that your masculinity is wrong, tells you to not be competitive as a man. You go up to these women today and you ask them, what do you think of men? They'll either say they're dumb, they're stupid, they're trash. The general consensus with most women today is that men are trash. Average man is not important, not needed. They are disposable and they carry themselves with that attitude. Rarely do women today run into men who are confident in themselves, who don't tolerate that type of negative treatment. And that's who you want to strive to be. Don't be controlled by these women. Most of these women today are so confident in themselves, treat men so poorly because they have no respect for them. Because the modern male today is a simp who panders to women. And they tell you that's the type of man they want, but they don't. And listen, life for a man has always been challenging, but feminism and modern women and the constant propaganda that they've been fed to, their default mindset when they see the average man is, I don't respect you and I am better than you. And for every guy out there who does respect himself, there are thousands of simps following her in her DMs, etc. So if you're currently actively listening to material and getting out here and putting forth the action to improve your life, you're one of the few men, you're one of the few lucky ones, because some men don't even run into this information their whole lives. I don't know how they survive. Life as a man is not easy. It's especially hard when you don't understand female nature, how to handle modern women, etc. It's especially hard. I don't know how these men today survive, bro. I don't know how men today survive without an understanding of the RP. Let's check out a few of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment here says, after 1.5 years, she self-canceled herself because women treated her so badly. It is sad how modern women are today. Another woman here responded and says, I believe that, but it should also be taken into consideration she was mentally unwell. I know men don't have it easy. What do you guys think of that? So yes, the woman actually did delete herself. And a lot of people attribute it to what she went through during this experiment. Another comment here from another gentleman says, more people need to understand this. Another comment here from another man says, men started treating women with too much ease. I think that's another way of saying simps. He goes on to say, nowadays women are out of curve. Call me misogynistic all you want, but weak men need to stop treating men like children. This is very true. They need to have accountability for their actions, for them to have the view of what it is like to live in the real world. These chicks been living in fantasy because of OnlyFans and feminism, but the truth is that weak men allow that to get to the fantasy point by being too soft. Women don't like it soft, and it's a fact. Nice and weak guys don't get anything. The moment you trust being a bad boy, you start getting attention from them. And guys, people hear the bad boy thing and they think, oh, you want to be a bad person? No. It's not being a bad person. Being labeled an a-hole in today's dating market by women simply just comes down to being a man who has standards and expectations for yourself, not allowing them to get away with disrespect and delusion. For example, check out this video where a guy basically lists out some of these things that women today really believe that don't make sense logically. All this to help them get away with living in a delusional world. And men who are aware of this don't tolerate this type of delusion. Check it out.
This shit still boggles my mind. If a girl wants a guy who's older, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who's younger, it's creepy and immature. If a girl doesn't want to date a short guy, it's a preference. If a guy doesn't want to date a girl that's overweight, he's an who's not focused on the things that matter. If a girl wants a guy who can take charge, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who will submit to his lead, he's, you guessed it, misogynistic. If a girl sets a boundary, it's empowering. If a guy sets a boundary, it's controlling. Women have preferences, men have something wrong with them. This isn't a double standard, it's just illogical. So why does anyone accept that?
There you go. There you go. The moment that you as a man start to realize that these women are playing you, right? They allow themselves to be victims opportunistically when it's convenient for them, but at the same time, be strong, empowered women when they want to get their way. The moment you start seeing the games, you start being open to the fact like, hey, why are you judging me for wanting to be the head of my household, for wanting a woman to submit to me, but you want a man who can take charge, who makes more money than you, who can pay for dates? Why do you get to have it your way, but I can't have it my way? Men have been shunned, belittled into submission. Don't fall for the shit. Stand up and be an effing man. Be an effing man, bro. And you only do this 3 ways. Number 1, don't fall blindly in love, which means you're protecting yourself from a marital contract, signing a paper that takes power away from you to make decision over your life. Protect yourself some way, shape, or form, getting a prenup, or maybe not even signing that thing at all, or maybe avoiding marriage altogether, depending on your goals and what you want in life. Number 2, now more than ever, it's important that you focus on yourself. Get your money right. Listen, and some of you may think, well, that's not a solution for everybody. This is not everybody. This is the solution for you. Don't worry about everybody else. There's no solution for everybody else. Most men are going to listen to this information and think it's wrong, and women need to be treated like queens.
No, I'll have a tea, actually.
They drink tea. They will not accept the actual truth and reality. And what I mean by this, guys, is there's only a small minority of men who consumes this content and understands that, hey, I can truly put the odds in my favor if I get out here, work, dedicate 1 year to improving your life as a man. Your life will change. So that first one is avoiding putting yourself in a bad position with the contract, right? Protecting yourself. Second one is self-improvement. Third is understanding female nature. This encompasses everything from understanding stoicism, maintaining frame, how not to tolerate disrespect, not being an emotional man, having the confidence to walk away, knowing how a woman's mind works. But for most guys today, the hardest thing is learning how to walk away from the cheeks, right? Which comes down to sexual discipline. Let's check out more comments. So this next comment says, being a man sucks. I'm not pretty. First strike, I don't make a lot of money. Second strike. Third strike, I'm too nice. Listen, you don't want to be this guy. I'm not going to sit here and this. I understand it's difficult, but don't be this guy who's on this being a man sucks. Money, get better. There's nothing else I can tell you. You have to improve. You have to improve. At least 2 of these things can be improved with a lot of effort. Stop being too nice. Stop being the nice guy. Have some self-respect, right? Life does suck, but that's what it is. That's what it is for every man out here. And you don't get to complain, why does he have this struggle and I have? We don't get to choose. I'll be honest with you guys. I can't stand when I see a comment consistently or I see a guy who's just there who I can tell literally looks at his life and says, I give up. There's no hope. I don't want to get better. I don't plan to get better. And I want to encourage other people to be a failure like me. I just block you. Yes. You. Next comment here says, woman pretends to be a man and dates women, deleted herself because of the treatment by women. She was only a man for a short time. That is true. Another comment here says, her opinion, I'm a woman and I love nice guys. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Do not believe it. Don't believe what comes out of modern women's mouths, right? Look at their actions. Life is challenging as a man, and it's even more challenging now than ever. You think you have it bad? Imagine being a guy. Again, imagine being a guy today who has no idea why he can't get it right. Bro, I buy her flowers. These guys are going through this. They literally don't know, right? I think a lot of guys in the space forget what it was like to have no idea how women operate. You sit there, you're like, I get her flowers at least twice a week. I text her good morning. Why would she do this to me? I try everything to please her. That's my goal in life. I make her the center of my life. And they're sitting there thinking to themselves, I treat her like an actual queen. Why am I being treated badly? They have no idea that they've been told a lie. Women aren't attracted to these men who they want every man to be. They're not. But most men won't believe it, man. They'll keep simping. They'll keep marrying 304s. They'll keep allowing themselves to get disrespected over and over again. You can be different. You can put yourself first. Yeah, you can improve your life, man. Value yourself. A man who doesn't value himself today is truly a miserable man in today's day and age, because it's not like men look at guys who are struggling and simps and guys underneath their comments calling them beautiful with hard eyes and think like, oh, well, I hope you're doing fine. No, they treat you like shit. Have some self-respect. Women do not want emotional, sensitive man, feminine man. She says ideally she thought that the perfect man was a man in a woman's body. No, they don't want that. They want a man who can take charge, control his emotions, get out here, compete. Don't believe the lies. Don't drink the tea. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Be aware and make the effort to improve your life. Listen, guys, as always, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.